Greetings, folks! Following my exploration of the 52 Hz whale's story in the last video, I was reminded of a character named Kreiss the Naiad, whose backstory deeply moved me to tears. Surprisingly, Identity 5 features multiple characters with heart-wrenching tales that blur the lines between horror and emotional drama. In this video, I'll delve into some of the game's characters with the most tragic backstories. Make sure to have some tissues handy, as learning about their experiences might leave you a bit teary-eyed. Violetta's tragic tale unfolded since the moment she was born into the world, a limbless infant, forsaken, and left outside the cold canvas walls of a circus tent. The ringmaster, Max, seized the opportunity to turn her misfortune into spectacle, taking her in and shaping her into a performer. Under the glare of the spotlight, he gave the young girl the illusion of being loved. But once the novelty of her limbless wonder wore thin, the cheers faded, and the illusion shattered. Max, the surrogate father, revealed his heartless nature, banishing Violetta from the stage like a discarded prop. Desperation gripped her, and in a heart-wrenching plea, she begged for a return to the spotlight, yearning for the counterfeit affection that came with it. In a futile attempt to win back the fleeting love she once felt, Violetta resorted to drastic measures, attaching mechanical limbs to herself. The cold, metallic limbs were a poignant metaphor for the mechanical affection she sought, a stark reminder of her unrelenting pursuit of a love that perpetually eluded her. From the very start, Violetta never wished to be born. Yet there she stood, a reluctant participant in the unfolding drama of life. All Violetta ever longed for was the feeling of being loved. A genuine embrace, a warmth that transcended the superficial applause of an audience. Her tragic journey painted a portrait of a soul condemned to the relentless quest for love in a world that had, from the beginning, cast her as a tragic figure in a heartless performance. Andrew Kreiss, who was rejected by society due to his albinism, found comfort only in the endless support of his mother. But their world came crashing down when landlord Marshall, motivated by his hatred for the cursed child, threw them out of their home, leaving them alone and abandoned by the world. Although faced with many hardships, Andrew's mother remained by his side until her last breath. Growing up, Andrew became a gravedigger at the Laz Cemetery, a place revered as a sanctuary connecting the human realm to heaven, reserved for virtuous souls. However, a sinister transformation took place when corpses started vanishing from coffins, driven by Andrew's misguided belief that only the rich, not good people, deserved to be buried there. Motivated by a notice seeking corpses for medical research, Andrew resorted to digging up graves and selling the bodies. His actions, born out of desperation, eventually led to his discovery, forcing him to flee from the cemetery. Andrew's tragic story is a stark illustration of how baseless rumors can dismantle a person's life. His albinism, which was not a curse, became the catalyst for society's rejection. Beyond that, his story exposes the harsh reality of a world where wealth often triumphs over morality. Andrew's descent into moral ambiguity reflects the systemic injustices that prevail, reinforcing the notion that the rich emerge victorious. Personally, I find the most heartbreaking aspect of Andrew's history lies in his relationship with his mother. Andrew bears the burden of widespread disdain, and and is often branded as cursed. Yet, his mother defies the prevailing judgment, persistently caring for him and refusing to forsake him, even in her final moments. Undoubtedly, the enduring strength of a mother's love proves to be the most potent force one can possess. In the tragic tale of Kreiss, her life unfolded as a cruel dance with destiny. Born mute and later diagnosed with aphasia, she arrived in Lakeside Village as an unwanted infant, left adrift in a basket with a note from her biological parents. A young family adopted her amidst the village's reliance on fishing for survival, and her presence seemed to bring an end to a prolonged drought, as if the heavens wept with newfound abundance. The villagers, desperate for relief, saw Kreiss as either a goddess or a beacon of fortune. They revered her, hoping for bountiful catches, unaware of the silent struggles she faced. Mute and isolated, Kreiss found solace in the company of the fishes in the nearby lake, her only friends in a world that misunderstood her. However, tragedy struck once again when dead fishes surfaced, casting a shadow over the village. The villagers, blinded by desperation and superstition, turned to Kreiss for a solution, believing her to possess divine powers. Despite her inability to communicate the truth, an anonymous letter sowed doubt, labeling her a false god and blaming the calamity on the wrath of the true deity. Rumors spread like wildfire, and the villagers, once enamored with Kreiss, succumbed to fear and hysteria. In a twisted turn of events, they concluded that sacrificing Kreiss, their supposed savior, by drowning her in the lake would appease the true god and restore harmony. Kreiss, gentle and voiceless, became a victim of the very people who once adored her. Thrown into the lake, the villagers' hope for salvation transformed into a dark betrayal. As she sank into the depths, bitterness filled her heart, mirroring the villagers' swift shift from love to hatred. In the silent embrace of the lake, Kreiss's tragic existence came to a haunting end. Emma Woods, once Lisa Beck, cherished a childhood adorned with happiness until tragedy struck. Lisa's father, Leo, drowning in debt, fell deeper when persuaded by his close friend, Freddie Riley, to acquire the Minerva Arms factory. Unbeknownst to Leo, Freddie harbored ulterior motives, succeeding in taking Martha, Leo's wife, away from him. Lisa, a witness to her parents' deteriorating relationship, stood helpless as her father succumbed to alcoholism. Financial woes besieged the family, prompting Leo to sell their possessions, and they endured break-ins. The fractured family dynamic and Leo's inability to provide left Lisa in an orphanage on White Sand Street, sponsored by Creature Pearson. Burdened by debt, Leo named Lisa the primary beneficiary of compensation, linked to an insurance policy. Tragedy struck again when the Minerva Arms factory burned down, leaving Lisa with a substantial inheritance she might not access until adulthood. The orphanage morphed into the White Sand Street Asylum, diagnosing its residents with mental illnesses after a church clinic evaluation. Treated as a mental patient, Lisa attempted a desperate escape at 12, only to encounter Pearson, ensuring her return. Emily Dyer, formerly Lydia Jones, volunteered at the asylum and subjected Lisa to electroshock therapy, inflicting enduring negative effects. Even after escaping the asylum and adopting the name Emma Woods, her tragic story persisted. Joining a game with familiar faces, she emerged as the sole survivor, only to be thrust into another unknown game. Her ceaseless nightmare finally ends when death claimed her due to an unknown cause. In her final moments, her father's voice echoed, calling her by her old name, Lisa. Michiko's life took a tragic turn as she embarked on geisha training from a tender age, a journey that confined her to a room for months at a time. Amidst this isolation, a glimmer of hope appeared when she encountered a foreign man at a banquet who showed genuine interest in her. However, the optimism quickly shattered when Michiko became the target of her new father-in-law's hatred. In a cruel twist of fate, he took her life, hiding her body and deceiving her husband Miles with a fabricated story. He callously claimed that Michiko had run away with another man, perpetuating a lie that shattered Miles's world. Even so, Miles clung to hope, hanging up missing posters in a desperate bid to reunite with his beloved bride. He remained unaware that his missing posters only served as a futile attempt, as her beloved wife has already left to the afterlife. So, there you have it, the top 5 Identity V characters with the most heart-wrenching backstories, according to my personal opinion. Keep in mind, these rankings are entirely subjective and not backed by any formal research or surveys. What's your take? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comment section below. Thanks for tuning in.